In today's training, I'm going to show you the one thing that will double your conversion on your emails, your cold calls, and outbound messaging to execs so you can compress deal cycles and close bigger deals. Hey, I'm Marcus Shannon, founder of Bentley Consulting Group, in which we train and coach tech sales reps and B2B sales roles just like you to blow out your sales targets, earn $250,000 and more, and become the lead sales role you've dreamed of. Now, what I'm going to teach you is simple, but most people underestimate how powerful it actually is. That single thing, learning how to craft an executive point of view to cut through the noise. Whether you are in strategic sales or in even SMB, this is how you differentiate from the rest of the average reps who use generic messaging. Now, to make sure I don't miss a single thing, I've actually taken 2 modules from my private client training portal and put it together. These modules by itself, most would charge $500 or even $1,000 to have access to, and I'm gonna give it to you completely free. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Hey, welcome to this training on creating impactful executive POVs. I'm really excited for this training, and this is regardless whether you are an SMB rep, mid-market, enterprise. Being able to craft really powerful executive POVs, it really sets you apart. It sets you up as an actual trusted advisor. Now, just to go through some quick basics first in this video so you know exactly even what I mean when I say POV or point of view. So a POV, a point of view in sales, is a strategic statement or framework that articulates your understanding of a prospect's challenges, goals, and needs, and explains how your solution uniquely addresses those issues. So in a nutshell, it's a way of framing your pitch around the specific concerns of your target market, your audience, demonstrating that you have a deep understanding of their business and are offering a solution that directly aligns with their objectives. I'm going to say that again because this is a really, really important point right here is there's a deep understanding of their business and you're offering a solution that directly aligns with their objectives. The mistake a lot of people make is they're showing how their solution solves a base level problem. It's not at like a manager or end user level, which makes it like cool. It solves their problem. But when it gets to a higher level exec, a C-suite exec, they're like, oh, that's a nice to have. We don't necessarily need it because it's not aligned to their overall objective. So this is a really important piece to understand. Regardless of if you sell at SMB or up to enterprise, you want to be able to craft these impactful executive POVs. Now, let's talk about why POVs, because we want to hammer this point home. So first off, this demonstrates that you have a deep understanding of the prospect's needs. If you've done a really good job of crafting your POV, it means you've done your homework. It's highlighting to them that you understand their challenges, their industry trends, and business objectives. And I've seen specific stats where buyers are 86% more likely to actually buy when they feel that sales professional really understands their exact needs at a very deep level. So when you do this, helps build trust and credibility, making them more likely to engage with you. Now, this also differentiates your offering as well. Depending on what you sell, in really competitive markets, a lot of solutions, they fall into what's known as the sea of same, all the same, right? When you have a really clear point of view, it allows you to highlight what makes your offer unique and why it's the best fit for the prospect's specific situation. And that might be that one point that really differentiates you from everyone else and helps you seal that deal. It also helps you align your solution with the prospect's goals. So when you tie to their strategic goals, again, so not a department level goal, not a manager level goal, but these strategic initiatives of that business, a POV ensures your offering is seen as a critical component of their success. So not just another product, it's seen as a must-have versus a nice-to-have. All right. So this alignment helps secure buy-in from key decision makers. And later you'll hear me talk about SPO alignment, which we'll cover more in discovery. But we're teasing a little bit here as part of this training today. It also provides a really structured way to guide your sales conversation, right? Helps keep your prospect focused on their actual problems versus getting really bogged down on some of the technical details, especially if you sell a really complex SaaS product or into price negotiations. So this actually leads to a more productive conversation and a smoother sales process. You're focused on really the why behind the why. It also can help you address objectives preemptively. So if you're able to address or anticipate potential objectives with your POV, you can potentially neutralize concerns before they even show up, right? So this, again, makes it easier to close at the very end. On top of that, number 6, it builds a strong connection with the prospect. So if you have a really powerful POV, they're like, wow, you get me. You get my world. I feel like you're peering into my soul. I feel like you really understand me, right? A POV really resonates with their challenges and helps them build an emotional connection, okay? So it shows that you're not just a product pusher, but you're actually genuinely interested in helping them achieve their objectives. So this leads to just a deeper, more collaborative relationship. So especially if you're in a land and expand opportunity, this allows you to be able to set the stage for the future growth of the account. It also helps you facilitate internal buying as well. So if you do a really good job aligning to the process internal goals, it is far easier for your champion, someone who wants you to win, to help advocate for you because show how it's tied to the overall objectives and help guide you and get other stakeholders involved. They can also then use your POV explain to other stakeholders why your offering is the right choice. So you have to be able to show them how it fully aligns that way. It also increases the perceived value of your solution. So by focusing on specific outcomes of your actual deliver, from revenue growth, cost savings, efficiency improvements, a strong POV increases the perceived value of your offering. This allows you to justify a higher price point, increase the LTV, and potentially also bundle on other solutions as part of it to charge more and make your deals actually increase too, and increases your chances of actually winning the deal. It also helps you enhance long-term client relationships. Not only does it help you with the initial deal, but again, it sets a stage for long-term success because you're positioning yourself not just as another vendor, but a strategic partner. And on top of that, it helps you streamline the decision-making process. So when you clearly link your solution to their key priorities, this helps accelerate your sales cycle as well and reduces the time to actually get to yes. Those are a lot of different reasons, but really in a nutshell, it helps you move from being just another vendor that you have to compete against with somebody else to actually being a trusted advisor. So it's a really powerful tool and done right for building trust, creating alignment, and ultimately closing more deals with higher value outcomes. Now, let's talk about the 5 elements of POVs. Okay, so you're probably like, hey, what's inside it? This is what you must have. So the first element is the prospect's challenge. So you want to be able to clearly outline the key challenges or pain points the prospect is facing. This shows you've done research and understand their business environment. Now, you can be able to have some basic ones that are a little more generalized for your actual persona, but for each specific deal and opportunity, you want to obviously do your homework and go super deep so you're able to get super granular with a point of view of their challenges. So for example, these are insights you might gather from 10K reports, earnings calls. This can be groundwork discussions with maybe more of the worker bee employees, so you can actually uncover some of the specific challenges, to potentially even going through the buying process as a prospect. I'm out here in Oregon. Let's say you are going after a large organization like Columbia Sports or Nike. That may mean if you want to improve their overall retail experience or whatever, you're actually going to the stores, you're walking through the store, you're engaging with their sales associates, you're engaging through their actual process as a prospect, you're making a purchase, right? Or you're going to their website and you're going through what it's like to actually make a purchase, or maybe going through their social media and they have a CTA or an ad to buy something. You go through that process and to see what it actually looks like to actually check out and buy whatever you're looking at. But again, my point more so is you're doing the deep research to get into the weeds so you can see potentially where the opportunities are of that a shortcoming they're not seeing, that you potentially as an outsider can bring a third party view to it that can be very powerful. That's number one. Number two, you want to be able to provide some sort of strategic insight. So you want to provide insights on why this challenge exists and how it potentially could be impacting the prospect's business, okay? This could be from discussing industry trends, competitive pressures, industry stats and reports, marketplace analysis. This could be by the simple fact that if you have spoken to 50 CTOs over the last 6 months, you can have some pretty good insights that they may not have because you're talking that many on a consistent basis, all right? So again, you want to provide some sort of strategic insight about why these challenges are existing. And then of course, your unique solution, right? So this is really specifically explaining how your product or service specifically addressing these challenges, highlighting the unique aspects or capabilities of your offering that make it particularly well suited to solve the prospect's problems. And then number 4, what are the expected outcomes? So painting a picture of the positive results that they can achieve by utilizing your solution. This can also include metrics like increased revenue, reduced costs, improve efficiency. Now, a key point here, if it's metrics, this must be their number one metric that they care the most about. All the outcomes, they must be ones they most likely care about as well. So not the ones that are important to you, but what's important to them, all right? And then also alignment to the prospect's objectives. So you want to ensure your POV aligns with the broader strategic goals of the prospect organization. This helps position your solution as a critical component of their overall strategy. And again, I can't hammer this point home enough, which is the key phrasing is literally the broader strategic goals of the prospect's organization. So not a lower level manager's goals. This is really key. Let me give you a really simple example. So years ago, I used to sell something incredibly boring, which is uniform services. Okay, so for example, I might be selling to a major dealership that has 30 different locations, hundreds of employees, a multi-million-dollar contract. And if I went to the C-suite, it was like, hey, we can provide your team better uniforms so they just look nice. They would be like, that's dumb. Not very compelling. It's not aligned to overall strategic initiatives. If I was able to go and visit all the sites, see what they were wearing, get insight from how the vendors are falling short, and be able to uncover what they're currently wearing does not align to their image of being a prestigious high-end brand like, for example, Mercedes-Benz or Ferrari, and it's actually costing them potential customers and making them lose money, that now is a more compelling POV. For me now to be able to go to the execs and say, hey, not only they don't look good, but the actual result impacts your overall goal of being the #1 Maserati dealership in the Pacific Northwest. Because people are going to see those people and think, hey, if you don't take care of those guys, how do they take care of the cars or whatever? So this is really key. Or it's going to cost them X amount because people are going to walk away from the dealership. So you kind of get my point there. Even though it seemed like it's solving a low problem, there's a reason why they're already buying, which is they already associate to a strategic initiative, right? So whatever you're selling, again, this alignment is absolutely critical. You can be selling toilet paper, you can be selling internet services, you can be selling whatever, right? But whatever it is, it has to align to strategic initiatives. And generally speaking, it's going to be stuff like they want to grow the business. It's going to be probably revenue-based or profit-based or brand-based. It's going to be something high level that's going to be a bigger picture that's part of their priority. Again, you must align to that. So you need these 5 key things. Let's talk about what to do next, because I want you to internalize this, because you need to have all 5 of these elements. Again, just a quick side note before I jump into what to do next is, if you notice even these 5 elements, before I lose my train of thought, is your unique solution is a very small part of it. The biggest parts is really, it's all about them. All right. So you're talking about them, their challenges, insights from the market industry of why the problem exists, right? You're talking about the outcomes that they want. When you solve those problems and align to their objectives, it's through your unique solution. All right. So notice how like your solution is just actually a small part of it all, but you're showing you truly understand their world. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to start thinking about what your POV may look like for your top 3 to 5% of these stuff. So start taking some notes on that. And then in the next video, we're going to cover exactly how to craft your executive POV using the POV Builder tool. Hey, welcome to this video. Today we're going to cover how to create your executive POV. So I'm going to show you a really simple tool, the POV Builder tool, which is going to be right down below this video. So I'm going to open up right here so you can see here. This is a very simple tool, and ignore all the side right here. I'll give some examples here. And you can see here I've created 5 key buckets, which is challenge, the insight, the solution, expected outcomes, and objectives alignment. I'm going to give some examples as well. It makes it very easy for you to actually build out a really clear POV, and we'll discuss actually how to utilize it as well. For example, you're thinking about challenges, and here's an easy prompt question, which is thinking, hey, what are my prospects' biggest challenges? Then insight, what is causing these challenges that they may not be thinking of? And then the solution, what specific capabilities do we offer that can solve these challenges? Then expected outcomes, which is what specific outcomes can they expect and what's the #1 metric we can positively impact that is important to them. And objectives alignment. How does this POV align with the overall strategic business objectives and priorities? I'll put a few different examples here. And by the way, this first one's going to be very specific because I'm actually thinking about an exact prospect. The other ones are going to be more general because I don't work at Databricks and I don't work with these other companies, but I put more general ones that based on some research that I was able to put together. And again, they might be incorrect off here if you work at Databricks or these other companies, but they should hopefully give you an idea and baseline. So let's walk through the one that I just filled out for my own business, which is sales trade. So for example, let's say I work for Bentley Consulting, which I do, my company, right? Let's say I'm targeting a CRO. So this is the actual example of the CRO, but this is why I cover meeting with a lower level manager first. I was able to tighten my POV up, which by the way, is something that's really important to understand. So you might even have a POV to begin with when you engage in the sales process with a prospect, but it's going to tighten up over time. So it's important to understand that. So for example here, I had a more general one before my call with a low-level director, but then once I got the information, I was able to take that information and then tighten up even more to have a better, more compelling POV that was sharper and more spot on. So for example, after having that conversation, this is the POV that I was able to come together and have a discussion with the CRO with, which is, your sales team is facing inconsistent performance, leads to difficulties in meeting revenue targets. So currently the team is at 44% attainment with 14% quota attainment across the board. So you can see here, like, it's very clear. I know the metrics that's most important, which is overall attainment and a 40% closing ratio across the board. And then also sales cycles. They've gone from 3 months to 6 months, which is leading to the issue, delayed revenue recognition, cash flow. So notice here, this is really specific to the priorities already to a high-level exec, okay? Sales cycle longer than desired, which is delaying recognition. It's also putting pressure on quarterly results. And there's a lack of standardized data-driven sales process resulting in inefficiencies and missed opportunities. So we know they're losing deals too. And I probably could have tightened this up a little more and put in specific revenue dollar amounts that's getting lost, but you get my point here, okay? Next, what's the insight? Why is this occurring, right? The potential they may not be thinking about. First off, there's market conditions. So it's overall, execs across the board to their customers, they're worrying and deals are requiring more stakeholders to approve. For example, for most sales organizations, if before they're selling to maybe 3 or 4 stakeholders, in some of those situations, now it's doubled. It's taking way longer, as an example, okay? On top of that, a lot of companies are looking to reduce their OPEX, their operating expenses, so trying to streamline, cut things out as well. So you have harder to approve things, more people involved, which means longer sales, makes it harder. On top of that, they're reducing spend and budget as well. Also, the sales team was lacking the proper skills to convert outbound opportunities, as historically they were heavily inbound driven. So in demand positive environments, they're getting all these inbound leads, makes it easier to close. So that's what they're used to. So they weren't used to how do you take something from cold to sold, what that conversation look like. It's very different. They lack the skills. And then on top of that, if they have enabling teams, have been slow to adapt their training beyond just the products and processes, because a lot of them are just really stretched thin. So this is some of the insights being provided here. Okay. So what's the solution? Solutions are a sales training program designed to standardize and optimize your sales processes, equipping their team with the skills and tools they need to shorten sales cycle, close deals more efficiently. The training's customizable to fit their specific sales methodology and company culture. So notice here, this is actually deal with potential objections they might have, right, in advance, because like, oh, how will it align my methodology, right, and culture, ensuring relevance and effectiveness for your team, along with reinforcement support built onto secure active recall skill retention. Again, this is a big concern for people that want trainers to come in, which is what happens after 30 days. So that's why it's built in. Focus on the tactical, objection handling, negotiation skills, and strategic account planning and sales analytics aspects of sales, providing a comprehensive approach that drives results. Very tactical versus just pure theory. A lot of times it's like all theory based, not actually useful for the team to actually develop sales skills. So you notice here, I'm pretty specific with these details here. Now, let's go to the next section, expect the outcome. So a 20% reduction in sales cycle time, okay, allowing the team to close deals faster, recognize revenue more quickly. Again, notice I'm tying to what's most important to them. A 42% increase in closing ratio developed by improving the discovery, demo, and closing process learned through the training. Improved sales consistency across the team, leading to more reliable revenue forecasting and achievement of sales targets. I'm hitting on specific things that's really relevant to a CRO, all right? And then how about objectives alignment? So how is this aligned to the overall strategic initiatives of the business and priorities? Our sales training will support your broader business objective of scaling your sales org while maintaining or improving performance. By standardizing your sales process and enhancing the skills of your team, you'll be better positioned to achieve your revenue goals of $40 million and support the company's growth trajectory of 10% year-over-year growth. The sales team will not only drive immediate results, but also build a foundation for long-term success and agility in a competitive market. So I'm tying directly to the objectives that's most important for them. So I'm not just saying, hey, we'll increase your closing ratio. I'm tying specifically to what's the priorities of the business. All right. And if you notice here, even how I wrote this, it's like I'm writing to them, right? Now, I'm not going to say just read all this to them, but it's a really good exercise to get you thinking in this framework of let me uncover the challenges, the insight, the solution, the expected outcomes, and objectives as well. All right, so let's go through another example right here because I really want to hit this point home. Let's just say, for example, you work at Databricks. Maybe you're an enterprise AE Databricks and you're selling to a chief data officer or VP of data. Now, again, like I mentioned before, these are generalized because I'm not thinking of a specific prospect in mind, but also I don't work at Databricks. So some of the stuff might be wrong because this is just a third party looking in. All right, obviously, if you work at Databricks, you're going to know a lot more than I'm going to know. But this will hopefully hammer home the points of this framework. For example, one of my prospect's biggest challenges, okay, the retail organization is facing increased pressure to deliver personalized customer experiences while optimizing supply chain operations, okay? The current data infrastructure is silent and complex, making it difficult to access and process data in real time. The fragmentation of your data slows down your ability to derive actionable insights, lead to missed opportunities and suboptimal decision making. Okay, so this is what I believe is probably the problems. I could be wrong. Again, when you have a POV, it's like a hypothesis. But hopefully, if you've done a really good homework leading up to this point, if it's an executive conversation, you can come to the table with this. And even if they're going to correct you, if you just did your best by doing your homework, this is what you gathered, they're going to be like, wow, you did your best, but you're a little wrong. They'll actually correct and say, this is actually our biggest challenges, which is very important. Okay, insight. So retail companies can unify their data across all channels and leverage real-time analytics and outperform their competitors by delivering highly personal customer experiences and rapidly adapting to market changes. Traditional data architectures often struggle to keep up with the volume velocity data generated by modern retail operations, risking a competitive advantage. Without a uniform platform, the ability to respond quickly to market demands and customer needs is severely limited. The solution, okay, I'm not going to read this word by word, just save us a little bit of time here because you can read this later when you grab this tool. Integrates with all data resources, right? Okay, whether it's structured or unstructured, into a seamless, scalable environment. Provides real-time data processing. Provides advanced analytics and machine learning in a single unified environment. Enables you to quickly turn raw data into actual insights. So it's not just good data; there's insights to actually take action on. Empowering your teams to personalize customer experiences and optimize supply chain more effectively. What are the outcomes? 30% improvement in data processing speeds. So it allows your team to move from data to insights in minutes rather than days, so it's saving them time. Reduction in time required to develop and deploy machine learning models. So it gives you, increases your ability to innovate. It offers the ability to deliver real-time, personalized customer interactions, lead to measurable increase in customer loyalty and revenue. All right. So then how's this tied to overall objectives? So it helps improve operational efficiency, giving you a competitive edge and customer personalization. As your company continues to innovate and grow, it offers flexibility and scalability needed to support your evolving data needs, ensuring long-term success. So notice, again, these are generalized because we're not talking about a specific example of a prospect, but you gotta get my point. So this is a good generalized one, but you want to get really specific, okay? There's a couple other examples here as well for HubSpot, if you go after a VP marketing, or for Okta. I'm not gonna go through all of them because they follow the same type of process. And again, like I mentioned before, these are generalized. They're not specific to a prospect, but they're just generalized ones for what I put together here, which I might be wrong because, again, I don't work for HubSpot or for Okta, but these are an example of which you're going to want to be able to do as well to do these same things too. So let's talk about where to utilize a really powerful POV. This basically hits your entire sales process in a nutshell. For example, this shows up in your outbound messaging. All right, so soon you can learn about the interest creating statement coming up. And this is essentially a very tight and powerful POV that you're sharing within seconds of me that really differentiates you from everybody else, okay? To leading with insights for completely cold prospects. So again, when you get to the leading with insights section, you're going to see exactly how we're leveraging POV as part of that conversation as well. To also executive meetings too, right? So if you're selling into the enterprise, like you must nail this POV and leading with insight. You have to do your homework. Otherwise, they're going to look at you and think you're a bozo because you didn't do your proper homework.